I spent 100 days in Terraria, and here's what happened. Can I survive as a summoner and defeat every Terraria boss? I'm playing on the Master Mode difficulty. I'll be exploring the eastern part of this map and gathering items by chopping down trees with my trusty axe as I go. I've made a decision to prioritize finding the angler and the beach. On the start of my journey, I stumbled upon the tundra and then the crimson biome, which was hard to pass by. After escaping those flying monsters, I managed to collect a few items from a brown chest. As I continued to venture forward, I eventually stumbled upon the dungeon, a crucial structure that will play a significant role in my future adventures. After some searching, I finally located the angler, who was sound asleep at the sea. As I was exploring the beach area, I noticed a cave entrance nearby and decided to investigate. Carefully dodging traps and obstacles, I ventured deeper into the cave and managed to collect some valuable silver. With these resources, I was able to craft a furnace and anvil, and with those I could craft everything needed for the journey. While I was exploring, I stumbled upon my first heart crystal, which provided me with an additional heart container and increased my maximum health. Unfortunately, I didn't come across any more cave systems in the area, so I decided to teleport back home to my base. I then set my sights on the western side of the map. It wasn't long before I came across two living trees. I was thrilled because there's a chance for a finch staff to be there, which is a summoner weapon. Unfortunately, I didn't find it, but at least a few good items. Two more living trees. I go in and find two chests, but no finch staff. Right next to them were the jungle where I had my first death. With all the living trees likely looted, I decided to die several times in order to create a graveyard biome. This would allow me to get Abigail's flower from the Don't Starve crossover. It is a summoner weapon, so let's go for it. While I was waiting for Abigail's flower to spawn, I decided to focus on building a living wood house, which would serve as my primary base of operations. I needed to create multiple rooms for the various NPCs, as well as a storage area and workstations. Once the house was complete, I was pleasantly surprised to see Abigail's flower appear, our first real weapon in the game. Excited to test it out, I cleared a nearby graveyard and continued on my journey westward towards the jungle. As I ventured deeper into the jungle, I decided to dig down into the cave systems below. Unfortunately, my first attempts were unsuccessful, and I ended up dying multiple times. Finally, I was able to reach the caves and started looting for the necessary items to create the snapthorn. It is a powerful weapon that requires jungle spores, stingers, and vines. The process was time consuming, and I spent the next hour grinding to collect all the necessary resources. During my exploration of the jungle, I came across some shrine-like structures that were full of excellent loot. Unfortunately, these areas were also swarming with dangerous man-eaters. Luckily, Abigail was able to help me out by defeating them for me. I continued to collect jungle spores, and even though they were easy to find, I became greedy and ended up dying again. After regrouping back at my home base and sorting through my inventory, I discovered that I was almost ready to craft the snapthorn. Determined to succeed, I headed back to the jungle to collect the remaining resources needed to create the weapon. With the snapthorn in hand, I was able to deal some serious damage to my enemies, and I continued to explore and loot in the jungle. However, I wanted to acquire a blizzard in a bottle and some more life crystals, so I set out towards the underground tundra. I knew this would be a dangerous journey, but I was determined to succeed. As I ventured deeper into the underground tundra, I discovered numerous life crystals and stumbled upon a skeleton man who sold a variety of useful items. Further exploration revealed more chests filled with loot and additional life crystals. My hunter potion also led me to the stylist, who was located in a spider biome that I knew would come in handy later on in hard mode. Continuing deeper, I found myself in a regular cave system within a blue mushroom biome. I purchased an artisan loaf from another skeleton man, which increased my crafting station range, and mined more gold near the lava pits. Eventually, I reached the depths of hell and started looting the pots for more resources and money. I even stumbled upon a voodoo demon and killed it. Afterwards, I didn't have much to do and teleported home. I sorted through the inventory, and then I used a gravity potion to explore the Sky Islands. But I forgot that the Eye of Cthulhu would spawn that night, causing me to drop down and despawn it. Despite this setback, I focused on gathering water bottles and creating potions as I prepared to enter the Crimson to summon the Brain of Cthulhu. I needed this to collect soft tissue and crimtane ore, which can be used to craft a Deathbringer pickaxe. The Brain of Cthulhu has two stages. In the first, the brain is invulnerable and teleports randomly around the player. 20 creepers spawn along with the brain and orbit the boss at high speed. Creepers do not respawn once they are killed, and all creepers must be destroyed first before the Brain of Cthulhu enters its second phase, where it becomes vulnerable to attack and can be killed. Unfortunately, I ended up dying in the late stages. I crafted a crimtane bars and got a bit greedy and wanted to kill the brain again, but I quickly failed. I did get enough to make a Deathbringer though, so I decided to focus on making a Elevator. With this Deathbringer, I could mine Hellstone for an Imp staff in the future, but first I needed a Hellforge and Obsidian. The process was long and I required water to mine through the lava, but at least I got some free Obsidian. During the night, I sensed an evil presence and decided to face the Eye of Cthulhu. It was a challenging fight as I had no arena, but my hook and Hermes boots helped me dodge the Eye's attack. The second phase was even more dangerous, with the Eye's quick dashes becoming more frequent as its health decreased. Nevertheless, I managed to defeat it. The dash from the Shield of Cthulhu was something I would use for the rest of the run. I continued to dig deeper and eventually arrived in Hell, equipped with my trusty Deathbringer pickaxe. However, without any obsidian skin potions, mining through the lava-filled terrain was quite a challenge. Ultimately, I died. Determined to succeed, I returned to Hell and acquired a Hellforge, which I brought back to my base and used to craft Hellstone bars. With my newly acquired materials, I was able to craft an Imp staff and molten chest piece. Wanting to create a home for the angler, I went to the beach and built some housing for him. Then, with the help of an obsidian skin potion, I returned to Hell to mine more Hellstone. I crafted molten armor and tools, and with my stacked accessories, I felt prepared to take on the Queen Bee in the jungle. After quickly constructing an arena, I engaged in battle with the Queen Bee. The queen bee has 3 attack patterns. She will level herself horizontally and dash back and forth 3 times in an attempt to ram the player. Another attack is that she will spawn bees while hovering, and the third attack is that she will rapidly fire poisonous stingers at the player. Positioning yourself above the boss can prevent her from hitting you. On the first attempt, I was able to defeat the queen and was thrilled. I opened the treasure bag and only got enough for 2 pieces of bee gear. I continued to explore the jungle in search of more hives. Unfortunately, I died during my quest, but I later discovered that obsidian armor was a great alternative. I also defeated the brain and created the obsidian armor set, which increased my minion count, whip range, whip speed, and summon damage. On day 13, a goblin army attacked, but I was able to clear it out with ease. I then decided to construct a farm for my herbs so I could easily create potions. However, I needed more clay for the flower pots. Afterwards, I built an underground structure for the NPCs, but it turns out this was in the desert somehow. I also made an arena at home and a village in the jungle for the future NPCs. On day 15, I also looted some more and finished building the beach village. On the night of day 15, the witch doctor arrived, so I bought a pigming necklace for 17 gold to increase my maximum number of minions by 1. I farmed more flowers and fished in the sky lakes, completing many quests for the angler in the following days. During my exploration of the underground tundra, I found a goblin tinkerer. I also found a blizzard in a bottle and bought a tinkerer's workshop to upgrade and combine accessories. Finally, I found a tavern keep and purchased everything needed for the Old One's Army event, which I decided to tackle next. I then completed the event and got a good accessory from the Dark Mage. I then decided to prepare for Skeletron, so I made an arena at the dungeon and decided to fight him. Skeletron's attacks are pretty simple. His 2 arms will attack you, and he'll periodically perform a spinning attack with his main body. After destroying one of his arms, his main body will fire homing skulls. I managed to defeat him and delve deeper into the dungeon, discovering a bewitching table that increased my maximum number of minions. I spent a lot of time farming and unlocking many gold chests and valuable loot. but unfortunately died to a trap. At home, I organized my items and constructed a tundra house for my NPCs. I continued my exploration of the dungeon, successfully unlocking almost all of the gold chests. I also took time to plant pumpkin seeds for food and to fish for resources. On the 19th day, I farmed Eye of Cthulhu's for money and reworked my equipment by selling items and reforging them. I also bought new building materials from a traveling merchant and completed one more Old One's Army event. Here you can see most of the explore map before hard mode. While in hell, I constructed an arena for the Wall of Flesh and continued to fish and complete quests for the angler. I fought off another goblin invasion and explored the underground desert. Finally, on the 22nd day, a blood moon appeared and I searched for the elusive floating pig bank but was unsuccessful. On day 23, I crafted some Slime King summons and defeated the easiest boss in the game. After defeating the Slime King, I decided to continue my exploration of the underground jungle, and then I purchased more items from the traveling merchant. On the night of day 23, I summoned another blood moon and managed to obtain the money trough. I got a shark tooth necklace, so I wanted to defeat the queen bee for the honeycomb to combine them. Unfortunately, I did not get it. And on day 25, I attempted to take on the formidable opponent known as the Wall of Flesh. I unfortunately died on the first try. I decided to expand the platform a bit more, and I had to farm more voodoo demons and eventually got one. I prepared once more to defeat the Wall of Flesh. As soon as it spawned, the Wall of Flesh began slowly sweeping across the map in a single direction, inflicting the horrified debuff upon me, which prevented me from escaping. Its small mouths, aptly named the Hungry, relentlessly pursued and attacked me, while the wall's two eyes fired dangerous laser beams. Additionally, the Wall of Flesh occasionally released leeches that chased after me, adding to the challenge of the battle. Eventually, I was able to defeat the Wall of Flesh. I opened the bag and managed to get a summoner's emblem, but not the firecracker whip. I obtained an additional accessory slot and entered the challenging hard mode. To make the most out of my pre-hard mode crates, I opened them and was pleasantly surprised with the items I received. I sold off some excess items and decided to reforge my summoner emblem to increase its effectiveness. Although I wanted to try out Abigail, my imps proved to be more reliable in battle. I ventured into the Crimson and destroyed altars to obtain hard mode ores. As I explored, I discovered the Hallow and prepared to farm black recluses in the spider biome in the ice tundra, if you remember. After spending several hours farming hard mode enemies, I crafted a full spider armor set and the spider staff, but I was still missing the queen spider staff, so I decided to continue farming. While testing my skills in the jungle, I found out that the Crimson had spread to my NPCs, which was unfortunate. I also mined cobalt and created a drill. Back in the jungle, despite my efforts to purify it, it was a challenging task and failed. I blocked off the Hallow from spreading and ventured into it to search for souls of light. On day 29, during a blood moon, I decided to fish in hopes of obtaining the sanguine staff from the dreadnought. Although I managed to get a lot of loot, the dreadnought proved to be too challenging and I died. To increase my chances of defeating it, I expanded my arena and obtained a sundial, which allowed me to skip time. On day 31, while mining for ore, I stumbled upon a wizard whom I defeated. After perishing in lava, I turned to mining crystals for a change of pace. On day 31, I tried my luck fishing during another blood moon, but unfortunately the dreadnought did not make an appearance. Feeling discouraged, I switched my focus to the queen slime in hopes of obtaining the blade staff. However, my attempts to defeat her were met with multiple failures despite creating a well-designed arena with walls to boost my spider minion's damage output. Despite encountering challenges, I persevered and eventually succeeded in defeating the Queen Slime. This was no easy feat, as each of her projectiles could deplete half of my health. Even though I was thrilled to kill her, I still knew it wasn't over because I did not get the blade staff, so I had to kill her I don't know how many times. After numerous battles, I finally obtained the coveted blade staff from her 25% drop rate. Even with my success, I had to sell off my spoils for profit and reforge my equipment before calling forth a pirate invasion. In my quest to obtain the coveted cool whip, I had to defeat some ice golems. I then ventured into the Crimson, digging deep into the underground in search of souls of night. The battle with various enemies yielded a collection of items. Back at home, I expanded the arena and built additional houses in the Hollow and the jungle to accommodate more NPCs. I also reformed a structure in the underground to create more living spaces. On night 40, I spent my time farming in the blue mushroom biome. Day 41 saw me attempting to defeat Skeleton Prime, which ended in failure. However, a goblin army appeared and was promptly vanquished. I spent the day reforging my items, and on the night of day 41, I set out to destroy the destroyer. Though he had a massive health pool, my piercing attacks proved effective. I even went on to summon Skeleton Prime. I was greedy. Although this time my greed was successful and I emerged victorious after a thrilling battle, I eagerly opened the bags and crafted a Durandal. On day 42, a solar eclipse appeared, so I spent the day farming before taking on the twins at night. Unfortunately, I died twice to the twins and I wanted more Halo bars but died to Skeletron. Day 43 was dedicated to expanding the arena and farming for Souls of Light. I then decided to go for the Laserite twin first this time, as he was the easiest. After clearing him out, I faced a more dangerous sibling and eventually emerged triumphant, much to my delight. I crafted the hollowed summoner armor and decided to expand the ocean arena in order to challenge Duke Fishron, hoping it would make the rest of the game easier. I wanted to kill him. However, he proved to be the toughest boss yet, and I died many times in my attempts to defeat him. Afterward, I tried taking on the hard mode Old One's army but was also defeated. In order to prepare for my next attempt at Duke Fishron, I spent several days farming truffle worms in the mushroom biome and completing fishing quests to make summoner potions. I also needed crispy honey blocks for fishing potions, which I obtained before getting to the third phase of Duke, where I died many times. After many failed attempts, I decided to expand my base and continue farming truffle worms to improve my chances. Finally, on day 50, I was able to make a good attempt at Duke Fishron, learning how to avoid his quick dashes and projectiles. I noticed a pattern in his third phase and was eventually able to defeat him. At the start of his third phase, he first attacks one time with a dash and then disappears, and then the next time he appears it's 2 dashes, and then afterwards it's 3 dashes, and then back to 1. So with that pattern it was quite easy. After he died, I did not get the Fishron wings or the Tempest staff, which was what I was looking for. I continued to defeat Duke Fishron multiple times to obtain the Tempest staff. And finally, on day 53 I acquired it, but still no wings, but oh well. I decided to expand my base even further and expanded the Plantera arena on day 54. I had to defeat Skeletron Prime to make a pickaxe axe before taking on Plantera. I managed to defeat Plantera. Upon Plantera's death, I bought Tiki armor and the Hercules beetle from the Witch Doctor. This motivated me to explore the post-Plantera dungeon and collect ectoplasm. Unfortunately, I died to a sniper bullet. On day 56, I defeated some hollowed mimics and went fishing, and then I continued to die while grinding the dungeons. To prepare the fight against the Empress of Light, I discovered that prismatic lacewings spawned from 7:30 PM to 12 AM and spent the next 30 days practicing for the toughest boss fight yet. On day 59, I grinded a solar eclipse and was spending the night gathering lacewings. During the day, I would try to kill her, and during the night, I spawned blood moons to increase the lacewing spawns. This continued many times, and I died so many times. On day 73, I made a desperate attempt to kill her during the night and found myself more than prepared after all the practice. Although I killed the nighttime Empress, I did not get the kaleidoscope and spent the next 12 days trying to defeat her. Despite losing hope and dying multiple times, I eventually had a stellar attempt on day 87. The Empress in Terraria has several deadly attacks. Prismatic bolts are homing bolts that can be dodged by making a sharp turn. Did you know that the dash attack removes any daybreak spears and marks from whips? The sun dance emits a ray of light that rotate clockwise. Everlasting Rainbow releases a ring of stars that damage the player. And the Ethereal Lance summons swords that launch towards the player's direction. Ethereal Lance 2 summons wave of swords that travel across the screen. Enraged, her attacks increase in difficulty. Eventually I was able to defeat her after many hours and was thrilled to get the best summoner weapon in the game. And I also acquired the kaleidoscope. I reforged my items on day 87 and then I attempted to break into the temple but failed and died. Undeterred, I went back and demolished everything in my path. Having already faced the Empress of Light and defeated Golem multiple times, it was a walk in the park. However, I eventually died but was able to obtain the pig saw back at home. On day 88 I decided to take on the pumpkin moon to get the spooky armor and dark harvest. The Terra Prisma shredded everything and I did die a lot because my defense was still at like 30-40. The next day, when the event was over, I got the gear but still needed more spooky wood. I needed hollow bars to summon another pumpkin moon, so I decided to take on Skeletron and the Frost Moon together. The Frost Moon was quite difficult since it had more projectiles and I died a lot, although I made it quite far. I realized I had trashed my spooky armor instead of storing it. I believe I pressed Control instead of Shift. So I had to do the pumpkin moon again, 2 times. During the last pumpkin moon attempt I got the dark harvest though and got spooky armor. On day 93 I summoned the lunatic cultist and died to him. I skipped time with the sundial to get him to respawn and continued fighting him. Once he was defeated, I moved on to grind out the lunar events, which were challenging defensively, causing me to die a lot. But I was able to deal significant damage. After taking out the Starlight Pillar and Serpent, I moved on to the Solar Pillar. I created asphalt and built the arena for the Moon Lord on day 95. I then decided to take on the Nebula Pillar next, which wasn't too much of a challenge. I crafted super healing potion and was ready to take on the Moon Lord. The next few days were spent trying to kill the Moon Lord, but I struggled. Eventually I needed to start the events all over again and failed repeatedly. I did the pillar so many times, but I was able to get off good attempt in finally. And there we go. I was thrilled to have finally defeated it while wearing my hollow warmer. On day 100, I decided to kill the Moon Lord again to obtain the Starlight armor, and I succeeded. I crafted all the Luminite bars and equipped it, feeling incredibly proud of my Terraria accomplishments. Anyways, thanks to my Patreons and members, and if you're bored, then watch this video next.